like something that he could excel at. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so basically he got a scholarship to Taiwan for high school because of his grades were really good, right? And then after that, so he went to Taiwan. He got a scholarship, but the scholarship only covered tuition, so education and housing. It didn't cover anything else, right?
Okay.
No like life expenses or like food or stuff like that. So he didn't really have any money to pay for like food and buy like 2 meals a day or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So he would only eat like 1 meal a day, which is just like a mantou, you know?
Okay.
Just something small. And so he got really sick from being malnourished. He didn't have enough nutrition. Like he didn't have protein and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
And so he like they rushed him to the hospital, like the school. So he went to the hospital.
Okay.
And they couldn't really figure out what was wrong about him. Like they knew he was malnourished because the way he was like he wasn't eating and stuff like that. So they knew he was malnourished, but they didn't know how to treat it. Cause you can't just give like a malnourished person someone food, cause they'll like throw up and be even more sick.
Right?
Yeah, like
Okay.
if you're starving, if you're like actually starving, and then someone gives you food, you'll like throw it all up because your body won't process it.
Okay.
Because once you reach a critical point, your body stops like it stops processing food. It's hard to explain. It's like a scientific thing.
Alright, keep going with your story.
And so he was really malnourished, and so he went to the hospital and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. So then someone referred him to a really famous doctor. Like he was really good. Like he was, I don't want to say like famous, but he was like well known. Like
Okay.
you know, Ma Ying-jeou,
Yeah.
like the old Taiwan president.
Yeah.
Like even he had to like bow down to this doctor. Like bow down as in like respect him. Like when he sees him, Ma Ying-jeou was like had to go, oh hi, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Chinese culture. And so我的爷爷 went to this doctor, and the doctor was like, oh, let me see what happened and what I can do for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my爷is like, oh, I don't have money though, like I can't pay for this stuff, like I don't have money to get treatment and stuff like that. And then this doctor was like, oh, that's fine, it's okay, like I don't need money from you, like I just want to help people. So he helped him for free, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically save my life, or save my yea's life. Like my yaya could have died from being,
If he died, you would have been alive.
yeah.
Okay.
And then the doctor is my lawyer, which
For
is
real?
yes, which is my mom's dad. And so my yaya's like, oh, but how am I gonna repay you? Like I can't do this. You literally saved my life. Like you saved me from actually dying. Like he was on a critical point of like hitting a flat line, right?
Okay.
And my lawyer is like, it's okay, like you don't need to pay me, just pay me back like in the future with whatever, like if you get rich and famous, just like come back and see me and I'll be happy, you know?
Yeah.
And so my is like, oh, okay, like it's fine, it's like, okay, thank you. And so after high school, my went to like, oh, I left out a point. My is like 10 years younger than this doctor, which is my lawyer. My lawyer is,
that was probably I was kind of confused. Alright, keep going.
yeah, like they're not like the same age. So she's probably like 10 years older.
Mm-hmm.
And so my lawyer treated my yaya like a little brother
Mm-hmm.
because of the age gap. It wasn't age gap enough to be like father son,
Yeah.
but it was age gap to be like big bro and little bro.
Okay, yeah.
And so my yaya went to Korea, where his family was.
Mm-hmm.
His family moved to Korea during wartime,
Okay.
and so he went to Korea and then got married, had kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he raised his kids, and he was telling about how he was telling his kids, which is my dad, my aunt, and my other aunt, like about his story, like how he almost died in Taiwan and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they moved to America, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now on my mom's side, my mom's dad, which is my lawyer, is the doctor. She grew up in Brazil because her parents were divorced, right?
But your mom grew up in Brazil.
Yeah, she speaks Portuguese. My parents are no, they're weird. And my mom grew up in Brazil, and then she moved to America.
Okay.
And so in America, both my dad and my mom moved to California. Both got into USC, and that's where they met.
Alright, that's some fucking crazy shit.
And then my dad takes my mom home to my yaya, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you know Shandong, like Shanghai,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah, I know that.
that stuff, like. And so my is like, oh, my is talking to my mom, like, oh, where are you from, right? And she's like, oh, I'm from Brazil, but my parents are from China, or like originated from China. And she's like, oh, where from China? And then my mom's like, oh, they're from Shandong. And my is starts laughing because like, oh, you know, Shandong, like it's a small place, and to like meet other people from Shandong is like, it's pretty cool. It's just like pride, you know. And then so then where was I? Oh yeah, so then they're like, oh, okay, and then they start getting conversation, like my mom and my yeah is like, oh, well, like, what do your parents do? And my mom's like, oh, my mom like lives in Brazil and stuff like that. And my dad is a doctor in Taiwan. He goes, oh, like, really? Oh, what's his name? My mom says the name, and he starts laughing.
And that's when you say laugh.
Yeah, he starts like laughing really hard because he's like it's weird, right? And my mom's like, what? And then he's like, your dad saved my life when I was in Taiwan. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
he passed away too, right?
He passed away 10 years ago. My yeah. My
Oh,
is
so
still
like he
alive.
got to see him again, though, right?
Huh?
Did he get to see him again though?
Who?
Like the grandpa. Like,
Yeah, they saw each other in between. Like he came, like that's because at the wedding
Oh,
they were like, oh my gosh,
okay.
it is so weird. Like it makes me tingle. That's why even though I hate my dad, sometimes I don't feel like my mom it's supposed to leave him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just so much like fate. It's like, because my dad is on one hand, he doesn't understand these things. Like he just believes that like, oh, I'm just married, you know. On the other hand, my mom like respects her dad and my dad's dad, like respects their connection.
Yeah.
So she feels like it's like meant to be, right?
Yeah.
And so then she's like, okay, so she stays with him, and it's just like weird. Like my grandpa on my dad's side never really repaid my grandpa on my mom's side, but how they repaid each other was by, you know, getting married.
Yeah.
And it's just weird. Like to think that they both moved to America, both moved to California,
Wait, they both went to USC too.
both
Yeah.
went to USC. My dad was a frat boy. My mom was a total book nerd. My mom's a doctor. She was like in the medical program. My dad was in the business program. Like it's weird how they connected. And they were set up on a blind date, I think. It's weird, okay? It's like everything about it is weird. Yeah, like it doesn't make sense.
It's a crazy coincidence.
I don't even know if it's a coincidence. That's when I started believing that fate was real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know the Titanic story?
What about it?
You didn't know it?
Like how the ship sank?
So 10 years before the Titanic sank, right?
Mhm.
Someone wrote like a book about like something I don't know, like just like describing the Titanic, right? And how it hits an iceberg, it sinks in the Atlantic Ocean, like everything.
10 years before the Titanic.
10 years before the Titanic actually happened.
What?
Someone wrote a book about the Titanic.
Oh shit. That's premonition.
10
That's
years
what I
before,
felt when Marino died.
10 years
Premonition
before
is-
it happened. Someone
Yeah.
wrote a book about like they call it like the Titanic was one of the biggest ship alive, like
Yeah, it was like the
Right.
biggest
The
and
unsinkable
strongest.
shit.
yeah, and then that's what in the book they called it too. They hit an iceberg in the Atlantic Ocean, which happened to the Titanic, like sank and everything, blah blah. blah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like sometimes like think about it, like all the times that we listen to a song and it comes up on the radio like the next day.
You remember we were talking about wasn't me?
Yeah. Like all these songs that come up on the radio, like that's when I'm starting to believe that it's like fate. That's why I don't really care, like whatever I do, if I was meant to be successful, then I'll
What
be
are you talking about?
successful.
Just our FBI agent.
Huh?
It's just our FBI agent.
Oh, you're right. Anyways, but like, don't you think it's kind of weird?
Yeah.
And then this is the reason why my mom's leaving the house. Like it's because it's my grandpa's 10-year anniversary since he died.
Uh-huh.
So she's gonna go see the grave to pay respects.
Mhm.
But it's so doesn't it give you guys chills how my like
No,
my grandpa saved my other grandpa, and then my mom got married to my dad, and
Yeah.
it just so happened that they, you know.
You're
Well,
the
I mean,
repayment. You're the repayment.
yeah. I mean, like then again, I
It-
can't really say that it was like meant to be or something because my grandpa on my mom's side really helped a lot of people.
Your law,
Her-
yeah.
Yeah, my law, yeah.
Your law, no.
But then
Your
he gave
yeah
without
basically gave
payment.
your law, yeah, a grandson and granddaughter.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
You could have just been like, oh, you can't pay me. Fuck off.
Right. You know, how many people attend a funeral? At a funeral, how many people?
A couple hundred. Was it?
Over 2,000 people attended my grandma's funeral.
Really?
He helped so many people, not even for money. Like
Like just.
He just helps them, like-
Respects.
if they don't have money, it's fine. If they do have money, it's fine. Like
Yeah.
sure, like you
Like
can
I
pay
said,
them.
if you do good things will happen to you.
Yeah. But he died of diabetes, or not? He
Doesn't
didn't die
matter.
of diabetes, but he
died a
died
legend.
and
He didn't die
had
like
diabetes.
as a
He was diabetic.
He didn't die
Yeah,
as
died.
nobody.
Yeah, he didn't die of nobody.
Yeah. See,
Like the president of Taiwan went to his funeral. That's how big he was. Like he was a herbal medicine doctor. That's what made my mom want to become a doctor. Because out of the however many kids they had, like I think I have like 9 or 8. I don't know. I have a lot of uncles and aunts on my mom's side, but like none of them wanted to become a doctor except for her. And she was his favorite daughter, even though they didn't really see each other growing up.
Yeah.
They were still the favorite. Like
wait, John, have you been to Taiwan and met all the family members?
I've been to Taiwan when I was little, but I don't really remember
Bro, when you
much.
go back recently, bro, it's freaking insane.
Is it
'Cause,
bad?
like I have hella family members in China, right, in mainland China.
Yeah.
Like they treat me as royalty, dude.
Because you're from America?
It's sick as shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like legit, I had this one, like my dad. Oh my, I don't know, my dad's brother kind of creeps me out. Like he's nice and all right, but I don't know, like he looks just like my dad. But like, have you seen those people like their eyes is like all black, kind of?
Yeah, the black-eyed children.
No, hell no, fuck
Oh.
that shit. Like their pupils like really big.
That shit's funny. I kind of like paranormal stuff.
Like you know his pupils like really big.
You're not
and
supposed to
shit.
let them in, right?
The paranormal stuff? Oh, black-eyed children?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to, but why
No, you're
not?
supposed to give them a graham cracker.
They don't exist, black-eyed children. Wait, actually they do exist. I'm just saying that's.
And I believe, no, honestly, I believe there's a greater power, and I believe we all have a reason.
Right? Like, okay, so what I'm saying. Oh, I didn't even give them the rubber band example. So how I see is that all these greatest figures in the world, their life is like a rubber band. When you overstretch it, it breaks. Right? So once the rubber band reaches a certain potential, it breaks. So all these greatest minds in the world, they died not because like they weren't meant to die. I feel like they were meant to die because they left such a great mark on the world. The rubber band was stretched out. Even at a young age, like they fulfilled their goal.
Some people become more famous when they die.
Right? That's what I was
Michael
that's what I was
Jackson.
telling Nathan, like Martin Luther King. Like a lot of people can argue that he could have made a bigger change in the world if he was still alive. But how I see it is his death caused an even greater change in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like for him to get assassinated, that was a big turn in the world. That's when like everything changed. Everything turned. All those black people that followed what he was doing suddenly felt empowered. They felt like they had to like do something, like to carry on the tradition. Do you know what I mean?
You know something really creepy though?
What?
I don't know, like ever since I was little, like, I still up to this day, like ever since I was like I don't know, like 5 or something. Like I don't know, I don't know if I believe in ghosts and shit, right? But I kind of do at the same time. But I always feel like I'm being watched.
Yeah, you told me that, like
24/7.
in your house or something.
Like whenever I move, like, I always feel like someone's watching.
I know I'm being watched.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I sometimes feel like it's my law, yeah.
I think
Sometimes I feel like when I'm
yeah.
jerking off, like my grandma can see me.
No, I know. You know why?
Even though she died.
Hey, you know why? I
Okay.
like me and my brother.
But yeah, what?
You know,
Oh
like,
yeah, you're the last two.
Me and my brother are the last people that can bring down my family name.
Yeah, because
And, yeah,
you know how
and
it's like
no,
the
you know what
boy
part-
carries on the tradition.
Yeah, you know we're part of
that?
royalty, right?